Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com, and in this video we're looking at a brand new Marathon Navigator, now in steel. So in this video and on this channel, we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as a full authorized dealer. So in this video, deep dive on this timepiece, final points of consideration at the end, but also throughout the video, if you have further questions or are looking to buy the watch, a link will be in the description down below to the product page. Guys, without further ado, let's jump in to taking a closer look at this watch. Now, before we dig into this intriguing new watch from Marathon, it is important to take a moment to recognize Marathon's unique history as it relates to both watchmaking and also a proud history of producing watches for military organizations. Starting in 1941, Marathon supplied the Allied forces with capable field watches and has been working with the US and other militaries essentially ever since. Although most of the leadership of Marathon is in Canada, and that is where they will call home, all of their watches are being made in Switzerland, and perhaps is best known in the modern era for the Government Search and Rescue, or GSAR automatic dive watches that date back to 2001, having been designed for the use by RCAF search and rescue technicians. However, if there's the next most important model family from modern Marathon, it would have to be the Navigator, a watch designed for US military pilots. The story goes that back in 1986, Kelly Air Force Base in San Antonio called for a dependable and straightforward timepiece for its pilots and navigators. Given the aviation use case, the watches were low pressure and temperature resistant, while also being topped with a bidirectional 12-hour bezel for international timing or UTC needs. Issued in large numbers to both Navy and Air Force, the first series of Navigator watches were housed within a steel case before Marathon made the jump over to the lighter weight fiber shell in the early 90s, and that had been the case ever since. However, Marathon just announced the return of its Marathon Navigator in stainless steel, with a combat-proven design format that has received some intriguing upgrades that makes this piece more versatile and capable than ever. Now, going into greater detail on the biggest novelty here compared to the previous version, the new steel case, it's important to note that this isn't strictly a change in materials, with the case format here offering a few substantial upgrades over the resin case Navigator options that are much less expensive. It's also important to note that this isn't a one-to-one of the older 1980s steel case, but a complete redesign for the modern steel variant of the Navigator family. The new steel Navigator boasts a screw-down crown at 3, along with the case back, which still has a screw-down battery hatch, which makes the steel variant capable of 100 meters of water resistance, a huge jump over the resin case variants. The screw-down crown and additional water resistance are likely to be one of this model's biggest selling points. And while they definitely make this watch more capable than the resin model, the use of a battery hatch, while it's convenient, would probably make me want to grab something for those extreme aquatic use cases. Where the resin case comes in with a bezel that is more or less a friction fit with 60 very subtle felt positions, the steel Navigator's bezel is steel and rotates with 120 substantial feeling clicks, while being topped off with an anodized engraved and painted aluminum insert. Keeping the military theme very much alive, the entire case is blasted for a matte effect. Despite the almost identical visual design format, this just feels a lot more of a watch in terms of what you're getting for this elevated price point, while still offering some solid wearing experience. At 41 millimeters in diameter and 47.9 millimeters in length, the Navigator Steel's case is prominent on the wrist, but offers a few attributes that helps this piece wear better on the wrist than you might expect. For one, the asymmetrical case format, the general silhouette of which was borrowed from another legendary military watch design with the bend wrist Type 1 and Type 2, is wider than the bezel that measures around 39 millimeters. You also have a curved case that seems to wrap the wrist as well, with the very slender 10.8 millimeters in case height, rounding out a watch design that wears closer to 40 millimeters in my experience. The Navigator offers versatile 20 millimeter lugs that differ from the plastic variants in that they use traditional spring bars as opposed to fixed bars, meaning you're not necessarily stuck with NATO style straps or the additional height that come along with them. And looking beyond the new case and slightly altered wear on wrist, the rest of the Navigator steel is similar to the previous models, starting with the highly legible military style dial. Now, an interesting aspect of Marathon's design language is how consistent the different model families all compare to each other, with almost the same dial being utilized across the entire brand. The matte black primary surface paired with the printed Arabic hour indices and smaller 24-hour markings is as classic as a field watch gets, sacrificing everything in the name of pure utility. Another Marathon trademark is also present here in the form of tritium gas tubes on the dial, hands, and even on the bezel pip at noon, glowing impressively without the need to be charged by an external light source. This particular variant offers Marathon's word mark at noon and a date window at the 4:30 position. The Navigator's dial is of course all business, but that's exactly what you're after if a watch like this appeals to you. A proven, legitimate design that works as well on the battlefield as it does in daily life. Now flipping the watch over, we have a few of the common military style markings on Marathon watches, such as the NATO stock number, the amount of radiation present in the watch, the issued product code for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the cage number. In addition, unlike the mechanical offerings from Marathon, this watch also comes with a battery hatch in order to change the battery, powering the Swiss quartz movement within the ETA F06.412. Now along with the stainless steel case and jump and water resistance, this is the other biggest thing going for this new Navigator in steel. Compared to the basic F06 with its quoted minus 0.3 to plus 0.5 seconds a day in accuracy, the F06.412 provides a staggering plus or minus 10 seconds per year quoted accuracy standard, which is among some of the most accurate calibers in the price range and really all of watchmaking for what it's bringing forth. This caliber also includes an end-of-life battery indicator that will advance the second hand every 4 seconds to inform you that the battery needs to be changed. And the battery used here is the popular 371 cell battery that will make it easy for you to change when it comes time, and which will not be very often because it can last between 68 and 94 months. Generally speaking, a quartz caliber is nothing sexy, but the impressive plus or minus 10 seconds per year level of accuracy, lengthy power reserve, and the easy ability to change the battery are huge value adds. And despite some detractors of quartz, the Navigator family has always used Swiss quartz movements, and they frankly make a lot of sense for a watch of this style. In aviation and combat settings, the accuracy and more increased durability that comes with a quartz watch are a big value add, and for what it's worth, this watch was never made for snobs anyway. Now to unpack looking at this Marathon Navigator in steel. So just a few things to talk about on the potential negative side and then moving into the pros. I think one thing here that does add some questions, the battery hatch with the extended water resistance might have some people maybe a little bit more reluctant to trust that water resistance rating. That's always something you need to be careful of when doing these changes for yourself, just to ensure that you have that full coverage. Also, the crown operation is okay, but could be maybe slightly smoother. And then the other point that I think you have to mention here is the price for the quartz. The big point here though is also that this isn't the run-of-the-mill quartz caliber that you're seeing in the entry-level Navigators that we've seen for years. But now shifting over to the pros, and I think the big thing here is the fact that this is something that people were probably itching to have for those that love Marathon. This watch has real military design and history. The 100 meters of water resistance is the most meaningful upgrade along with the stainless steel case. Plus or minus 10 seconds per year for the movement. Tritium in one of its rare instances in the industry making its way on this watch here. So is this going to be a watch that's going to be for everybody? Absolutely not. It's a very specific type of watch collector and enthusiast that you're talking about. But for those that love Marathon, they love it. It's a design language that is authentic to them. And if you're one that always had that resonate with you, and you were longing for a Navigator like the case, but were just looking for one that was that complete package, maybe with the stainless steel, 100 meters of water resistance, upgraded movement, and really bringing all the refined features that you would want to have in a Navigator, well, if that was you, look no further. All right, guys, well, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That does help out the channel. And also, if you're in the market for the watch featured here, we do have it available on TeddyBaldassarre.com. TeddyBaldassarre.com is an authorized dealer of over 30 brands, quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support, and a full factory warranty for all the products that we offer. And how we're able to fund all the productions here, as well as on our main channel, is through selling watches on our site. So if you want to support the content, you're in the market for a watch, we would love to have your business because it allows us to keep doing what we're doing here, and we love what we do. But guys, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.